I love the idea of the 360 client, right? So, hey, if I'm overwhelmed today and I just can't do another thing, I could certainly recommend life insurance, get my life insurance friend involved. And that's a way to kind of make sure that we're playing the game fair. I'm here today to talk a little bit about how to get your team on board with making renewal review calls. This is like a ninja act. I have often, when we work with clients, been asked, are you going to tell them we're going to call every client, or do I do that? And you can sense the dread in their voice. I say, I'll do whatever you want. Don't get me wrong. There's been a couple of times where I thought I needed to have a bulletproof vest to walk into an agency. That is a true statement. But here's what I know. The idea is that we get so stuck in like, what do we do tomorrow, that we forget the long game. And we need to tell people that this is the long game. And there's a phase to this, which is why when we do this with clients, it's a 6-month process. And some people are like, 6 months. I'm like, 6 months. 6 months to create the habit. And hopefully the last 2 months are boring like vanilla ice cream. And I also tell that to people. I'm like, what we know is that the first couple months are the hardest. The last couple months are just sticking and maintenance, and that's okay. The less drama, the better. So when we go into agencies, we explain all of the pain points that they currently have, right? So it's problem solution. So pain points. You get a ton of inbound calls. You feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. We're harping on retention, and it's tougher than ever because rates are increasing and the market's tough. We're remarketing a ton. No account manager loves remarketing. They're not like, give me more. They hate it because it takes a long time and it's no guarantee. And it feels kind of like desperate that we're going ahead and looking at other markets. And ultimately, people don't call back or people shop. And it's just a variable situation that no account manager loves. So we've got more of that. We have a ton of people that don't have the coverages we recommend. So it's uncomfortable when claims come in and we have to tell them, no, they don't have the right coverage. We know that there's opportunity out there. I've found is when we release stress on account managers, give them a little bit more time, cross-selling increases. When it's crazy, cross-selling to them feels like a luxury item. And they want to, and especially if they want to make more money or there's bonuses or incentives, which every agency should have, by the way. We want to make sure that we focus on coverage increases or an account rounding. Also cross-selling. I love the idea of the 360 client, right? So, hey, if I'm overwhelmed today and I just can't do another thing, I could certainly recommend life insurance, get my life insurance friend involved. And that's a way to kind of make sure that we're playing the game fair. The other thing that we have is E&O exposure. Whenever there's a mistake on an account, watch everybody in the department shut down. They don't know what to do and it's overwhelming. Updated contact information. Nothing more frustrating when we try to call a client, we've got no way to get them. And ultimately, people love doing business with referrals. If we can generate more referrals, better quality business, these are all the things. So we back away and say, do you want all this? Oh my gosh, yes. How do we do it? And I say, renewal reviews. We're going to call every client once a year for a formal review. And they look at me like, really? I said, yep. And it's going to take a little bit, but once we get there, it's going to solve all these problems. So can you follow me on the journey of 60 days, 90 days where it's hard to get there? And most of them will say, we'll give it a wholehearted try. And then we start staging it up. Maybe it's 1 call a day, then 2 calls a day, then 3 calls. And before we know it, the wiggles have come off, they've burned off, and now we're in a good situation. So follow us for more tips on how to get your team to make renewal review calls. But that launch is key.